My brother dumped his kids on me and told me that he would take them back once they turned 18. Now, he is about to learn what consequences. My brother Marcus showed up at my apartment on a Tuesday night with his two kids, Lily and Jake. They were 7 and 9. He had 2 suitcases and said he needed me to take them for a while. A while turned into him saying he'd come back for them when they turned 18. I thought he was joking, but he handed me a folder with their birth certificates, medical records, and school information. He said he couldn't do it anymore. That being a single dad was too hard and he needed to focus on his career. I told him he couldn't just abandon his children. He said I didn't have kids, so I had more time. Then he left. I tried calling him for 3 days straight. Every call went to voicemail. His job said he'd taken a leave of absence. His apartment was empty when I drove there, like he'd vanished completely. The kids were quiet, too quiet. They'd sit on my couch and stare at the TV without really watching. When I asked if they wanted to talk about their dad leaving, they'd shake their heads. Lily would whisper that Daddy said not to talk about it. 2 weeks in, I noticed Lily checking the windows constantly. She'd stand on her toes and peek through the curtains, then go back to coloring. When I asked what she was looking for, she said the car. What car? The one that follows us, she said, like it was obvious. Jake had this habit of writing down license plates. I found a notebook under his bed filled with plate numbers and dates. Some were from weeks ago, before Marcus even dropped them off. When I confronted him, he got defensive and said Dad told them to keep records. Marcus finally texted me after a month, just checking in. How are they? I called immediately, but he didn't answer. His text responses were brief, yes or no answers. Nothing like how he normally texted. Money started appearing in my account, $2,000 every Friday. No note, just a direct deposit from an account I didn't recognize. I tried to trace it, but the bank said it was from an LLC with no public information. The kids' school called saying a man had tried to pick them up. He'd said he was their uncle, but I don't have brothers besides Marcus. The school had refused and called the police. When I showed Lily and Jake the security photo, they both went pale. Lily said that's one of Daddy's friends. I asked what she meant by friends. She said the ones who came to the house late at night, the ones Daddy would talk to in the garage with the door closed. Jake added that Daddy always made them stay in their rooms when the friends visited. That night, I found a burner phone taped under Jake's bed. It had one contact saved, no name, just a number. I called it, and Marcus answered on the first ring. His voice sounded panicked. Did someone find the phone? Are the kids okay? I demanded to know what was happening, why he'd really left them with me, why someone tried to take them from school. Marcus was quiet for a long time. Then he said something that made my blood freeze. They're not supposed to know I have kids. I messed up. I should have hidden them better. Who's not supposed to know? The people I testified against, the ones who went to prison because of me. Marcus explained that he'd been working with the FBI for 2 years, that he'd witnessed something he shouldn't have and cooperated with investigators, that 3 major organized crime figures were convicted based on his testimony. He said he'd arranged protection for himself, but the marshals wouldn't take the kids, said they didn't have the resources, so he'd been hiding them, moving every few months, using fake names, but someone had found them. Someone had tracked their school records. Leaving them with me was supposed to break the trail. If he disappeared and they stayed in one place with a relative, maybe the people looking would assume they weren't important, that I was just an aunt helping out, not knowing anything. But now someone had tried to take them, which meant they knew. Marcus said I needed to take the kids and leave tonight, that someone would contact me with instructions, that he was sorry for putting this on me. I asked where he was and he said he couldn't tell me, for my safety. Then the line went dead. I walked back into the living room, where Lily and Jake were sleeping on the couch. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. We need to talk about your brother's debt. You have something we want. That's when I realized my brother didn't just dump his kids on me. He'd made me a target, and the consequences he's about to learn are much worse than he ever imagined. The rest of the story is on my channel or linked below. I dropped my phone onto the couch like it's suddenly burning my hand. The message glows on the screen. We need to talk about your brother's debt. You have something we want. My mind races through possibilities. What did Marcus do? What could these people possibly think I have? I look at Lily and Jake sleeping on the couch, their faces peaceful for the first time in weeks. The realization hits me like a physical blow. They're not after something. They're after someone. Lily, Jake, wake up, I say, gently shaking their shoulders. We need to go. Jake's eyes flutter open first. Where are we going? He asks, his voice heavy with sleep. We're going on a trip, I say, trying to keep my voice steady. Right now. Lily sits up, immediately alert in that unnerving way she's developed. Is it because of the men? She asks. I nod, already moving toward their room. Pack only what you absolutely need. 1 backpack each. 5 minutes. They don't argue or complain, which terrifies me more than anything. No normal child responds to a midnight evacuation with such practiced efficiency. As they pack, I grab my laptop, important documents, and as much cash as I have on hand, about $600. Not enough. Are we in the program now? Jake asks as he zips his backpack. I pause. What program? The one Daddy talked about, the witness program, where we get new names. My stomach twists. Did your dad explain that to you? Lily nods, clutching her stuffed rabbit. He said someday we might have to go away and be different people, because he told on some bad men. I kneel in front of them, looking directly into their eyes. Yes, something like that. Your dad was helping the FBI put away some dangerous people. That's why we need to be careful now. Are we going to see Daddy? Lily asks, hope flickering across her face. Not right now, I say gently, but we're going to stay safe until we figure everything out. That's my job now. I call 911 as we load into my car. The dispatcher connects me to an officer, and I explain about the threatening text message. Ma'am, receiving a single text message isn't necessarily an emergency, the officer says, his voice dripping with condescension. Has this person made any direct threats? They're looking for my brother's children, I say, trying to keep my voice down as the kids buckle their seatbelts. My brother is a federal witness. Someone tried to take them from school yesterday. There's a pause. Did you report that incident? The school did. And what did the investigating officers tell you? They took a report, but ma'am, if you've already filed a report about the school incident, it's being investigated. As for the text message, you can come to the station tomorrow to add it to your existing report. I want to scream. These people are looking for us right now. Do you have any evidence someone is actively pursuing you at this moment? I look out at the empty street. No, but then I suggest you lock your doors and windows and call us if you observe any suspicious activity, or come to the station in the morning. The call ends, and I resist the urge to throw my phone. Instead, I put the car in drive and head for the highway. Where are we going? Jake asks from the back seat. Somewhere safe, I promise, though I have no idea where that might be. We drive for an hour before I find a motel off the highway that looks decent enough, but not so nice that they'll remember us. I pay cash and use my middle name when the sleepy clerk asks. The room is basic. 2 beds, a bathroom, faded curtains. I check every corner, under the beds, behind the shower curtain. The kids watch me silently. We'll stay here tonight, I tell them. Tomorrow we'll figure out our next steps. Jake sits on the edge of the bed, his notebook clutched in his hands. Are you going to call Agent Rodriguez? I freeze. Who? Daddy's FBI person. Agent Rodriguez. He has her number. Do you know it? I ask, trying not to sound too eager. Jake shakes his head. It's in Daddy's special phone, the one under my bed. The burner phone I found. I pull it from my pocket and scan through the contacts again. There's only the one number I called. Marcus. No Rodriguez. Jake, did your dad ever mention any other phones or places he might have hidden information? Both children exchange looks. It's Lily who speaks. He had a secret box in the wall behind the washing machine. I make a mental note to check that if we ever go back to Marcus's apartment. Can you tell me about your dad's friends? I ask carefully. The ones who came to the house at night? Lily's face scrunches up. They weren't nice. They yelled at Daddy. They had pictures on their arms, Jake adds. Like drawings, but on skin. Tattoos? I ask. He nods. One had a snake on his neck. Another had letters on his fingers. What kind of letters? Jake thinks for a moment. LOVE on one hand, HATE on the other. A cold shiver runs down my spine. These don't sound like FBI agents. Did they ever give you anything? I ask. Presents or toys? Lily hugs her stuffed rabbit tighter. Mr. Hoppy, the man with the snake, gave him to me for my birthday. I look at the well-worn rabbit in her arms. Something about it seems off. Lily, can I see Mr. Hoppy for a second? She hesitates, then hands him over. The rabbit is heavier than it should be, with an odd lump in its stomach. I turn it over and find a nearly invisible seam that's been restitched. I'm going to check something, okay? I say, and before she can protest, I find the seam and carefully pull it open. Inside, nestled among the stuffing, is a small black device the size of a quarter, a tracking device. What is that? Jake asks, peering over my shoulder. I swallow hard. It's how they've been finding you. Lily's eyes widen. Mr. Hoppy is a spy? No, sweetheart. Someone put this inside him. I remove the device and set it on the nightstand. We'll leave this here when we go in the morning. Lily's eyes fill with tears. But Mr. Hoppy, we'll fix him, I promise. Already searching for the motel's sewing kit. He'll be good as new. As I stitch the rabbit back together, my mind races. Who are these people? What did Marcus really get himself into? And most importantly, how am I going to keep these children safe when I have no idea what we're up against? The burner phone buzzes with a text from Marcus's number. Don't go home. They know where you live. Too late. We're already gone. 3 days in this motel, and I'm starting to feel like we're trapped in some bizarre limbo. Every sound in the hallway makes me flinch. Every car that lingers too long in the parking lot sends me peering through a crack in the curtains. The kids have been surprisingly resilient, but I can tell they're getting restless. When can we go home? Lily asks for the 3rd time today, clutching the newly repaired Mr. Hoppy to her chest. Not yet, sweetie, I say, trying to keep my voice light. We're still on our adventure, remember? Jake doesn't look up from his notebook where he's been meticulously recording the license plates of every car he can see from our 2nd floor window. She means when can we go to our real home? He says matter-of-factly. Not Dad's apartment. I don't have an answer for that. Their real home, the one they shared with both parents before everything fell apart, doesn't exist anymore. And right now, neither does any home that could be considered safe. The burner phone vibrates on the nightstand, and I practically lunge for it. The screen shows an unfamiliar number, not Marcus's. I hesitate, then answer. Hello? This is Special Agent Elena Rodriguez. I understand you've been trying to reach me. The relief that floods through me is so intense I have to sit down on the edge of the bed. Yes, I have. I'm Marcus's sister. I have his kids, and I know who you are, she interrupts, her voice clipped and professional. Where are you now? I glance at the children, who are watching me intently. We're somewhere safe, I say vaguely, but I don't think it will stay that way for long. It won't, she confirms. Your brother has made some extremely poor decisions that have compromised not only his safety, but that of his children as well. What kind of decisions? What's going on? There's a pause on the line. This isn't a secure channel. I need to see you in person. There's a diner called Mel's on Highway 16, about 20 miles east of the city. Can you be there in an hour? I check my watch. Yes. Come alone. Leave the children somewhere safe. I can't just find a way, she says, and hangs up. Jake is at my side instantly. Was that Agent Rodriguez? Is she going to help us? I nod, trying to process what just happened. I hope so. I need to meet her, but you two need to stay here. Both children immediately protest, their voices rising in panic. You can't leave us. What if the bad men come? I kneel down in front of them. Listen to me. I'm going to call the front desk and ask if there's anyone who can watch you for just an hour or two. I'll be back before you know it. It takes some convincing, but eventually I arrange for the motel manager's teenage daughter to sit with them. She seems responsible enough, and I make it clear that under no circumstances are they to open the door for anyone but me. The drive to Mel's diner feels interminable. Every car that stays behind me for more than a few minutes makes my heart race. I take 3 different detours just to be sure I'm not being followed. The diner is nearly empty when I arrive, just a couple of truckers at the counter and a woman in a booth at the far end. She's wearing a dark blazer, despite the warm weather, her hair pulled back in a severe bun. She doesn't look up as I approach, but I know immediately that this is Agent Rodriguez. Sit, she says as I reach the table. I slide into the booth opposite her. Thank you for meeting me. Don't thank me yet. She finally looks up, her dark eyes assessing me. Your brother has created a very very dangerous situation. I gathered that much, I say, trying to keep the edge from my voice. What I don't understand is why the FBI isn't protecting his children. Rodriguez sighs. Marcus was placed in witness protection 6 months ago after providing critical testimony against the Kostova crime family. He was given a new identity, relocated to a different state, provided with financial support, standard protocol. Then why? Because your brother violated every single protocol we established. He contacted old associates. He maintained illegal business connections. He disappeared for days at a time without explanation. Her voice hardens. And he brought his children back to the very city where the people he testified against operate their business. My stomach drops. Why would he do that? Because your brother is playing both sides. We believe he took evidence from our investigation, evidence that could compromise our case against the Kostovas. We think he's been using it as leverage. Leverage for what? Money. Protection. Take your pick. She slides a folder across the table. These were taken 3 days ago at the elementary school where you enrolled the children. Inside are photographs of the school playground. In several of them, I can see Jake and Lily playing with other children. But what makes my blood run cold are the men visible in the background. One leaning against a car across the street, another sitting on a bench with a newspaper, both clearly watching the playground. Oh my God, I whisper. Turn to the last page, Rodriguez instructs. The final photo is a close-up of one of the men, and I recognize him immediately from Jake's description. A snake tattoo curling up his neck. Do the children know this man? She asks. I nod, unable to speak. Show them these photos. See if they recognize anyone else. We need to know exactly who's looking for them. I tuck the folder into my bag. What about protection? You can't just leave us out here as bait. We're not, but we need to be careful about how we proceed. The Kostovas have informants everywhere. Police departments, government offices, even within the bureau itself. That's why I couldn't come to you directly. So what do we do now? Go back to the children, show them the photos, then call me with what they tell you. She stands up, leaving cash on the table for a coffee she barely touched. And find somewhere else to stay. That motel isn't safe anymore. How do you know where we're? Because if I could find you, they can too. She hands me a card with a number scrawled on the back. Use this to contact me, no one else. When I return to the motel, the babysitter reports that everything was fine, though Lily had a nightmare. I thank her, lock the door behind her, and immediately start packing our few belongings. We're moving again? Jake asks, his voice small. Yes. Agent Rodriguez says it's not safe here anymore. Lily looks up from where she's coloring on the bed. Did she find Daddy? Not yet, sweetie. I pull out the folder, but I need to show you both something. These are pictures of people who might be looking for you. I need you to tell me if you recognize anyone. I lay the photos out on the bed. Jake points immediately to the man with the snake tattoo. That's Mr. Vince. He came to our house a lot. He and Dad would go into the office and close the door. Lily peers at the photos, then suddenly gasps and points to another man I hadn't even noticed. An older man in a suit standing near a black SUV. That's Daddy's scary friend, she whispers. The one who said we were insurance. Insurance? I repeat. What do you mean? He told Daddy that we were his insurance policy, Jake explains, his voice unnervingly adult. That as long as Daddy did what he was told, we would be safe. I feel sick. Did your dad seem scared of this man? Both children nod. He has a special name, Lily adds. Daddy called him the accountant. I gather the photos and reach for the burner phone. But before I can dial Rodriguez's number, my regular phone chimes with a notification. It's an email from the rental listing service I used to find our current temporary apartment, the one we haven't even been able to stay in because of the threat. Congratulations, the email reads. Your property has been featured as our rental of the day and has been viewed 347 times in the last 24 hours. Attached is a photo of the apartment building with our unit circled in red, along with interior photos I provided when I signed the lease. Photos that show the children's backpacks visible in the background. Photos that anyone could use to confirm where we're supposed to be living. We need to go, I say, shoving the last of our things into bags. Right now, Jake is already one step ahead of me, zipping his backpack with practiced efficiency. Where to this time? I don't know yet, I admit, but somewhere they won't find us. As we hurry to the car, I can't shake the feeling that we're being watched. Every shadow seems to hide a threat. Every stranger could be one of Daddy's friends. The weight of responsibility for these children feels crushing, but there's no one else to carry it. The burner phone buzzes with a text as we pull out of the parking lot. They know about the apartment. Don't go there. Call me when you're somewhere secure. Agent Rodriguez is right. We're not safe anywhere. The burner phone's ring cuts through the silence of our new motel room at 3:17 a.m. I fumble for it in the dark, trying not to wake the kids who are finally sleeping. Hello? I whisper. It's me. Marcus's voice sounds different, strained and breathless. Where the hell have you been? I hiss, moving toward the bathroom so I can close the door. Your children are terrified. There are people following them. Someone tried to pick them up from school. I know, I messed up. There's a wet, rasping quality to his voice that stops my anger cold. I'm hurt. They found me. Who found you? The FBI? The Kostovas? Both. He coughs, and it sounds painful. Listen carefully. There's a flash drive hidden in the apartment, behind the baseboard in the kids' bathroom, under the sink. It's everything. Everything what? Marcus, what did you do? I can't explain now. Just get it before they do. It's insurance. There's that word again. Insurance. Your children are not insurance. I snap. They're terrified. Lily checks the windows constantly. Jake is recording license plates in a notebook. What kind of father puts his kids through this? The kind who's trying to keep them alive, he whispers. I made mistakes. Big ones. But everything I did was to protect them. By abandoning them with me, by letting criminals track them, by giving them a chance. His voice sounds weaker. I have to go. Don't trust Rodriguez. She's not. The line goes dead. I try calling back, but it goes straight to voicemail. I sit on the edge of the bathtub, my hands shaking. What am I supposed to do now? Go back to the apartment Marcus abandoned for a flash drive that might not even exist? When I emerge from the bathroom, Lily is sitting up in bed, her eyes wide in the dim light. Was that Daddy? She asks. I nod, unable to lie to her. He's okay. He just wanted to check on you. Is he coming to get us? Not yet, sweetie. Try to go back to sleep. She lies lies down but keeps her eyes on me. The lady is here, she says after a moment. What lady? The one from the pictures at our old house. Mommy, my blood runs cold. Lily, did you have a dream? She shakes her head. She's outside. I saw her when I went to get water. I rush to the window and carefully pull back the curtain. There's a woman standing in the parking lot, illuminated by the flickering neon of the motel sign. Even from this distance, I recognize her from the photos in Marcus's apartment. Vanessa, the children's mother who supposedly abandoned them years ago. I watch as she looks directly at our room, then pulls something from her purse. Not a weapon, but papers. She holds them up toward our window as if she knows I'm watching. By morning, I've made a decision. We can't keep running blindly. I need answers, and Vanessa might have them. I leave the kids watching cartoons with strict instructions not to open the door for anyone, and meet her at the diner across the street. She's sitting in a corner booth, a manila envelope in front of her. She's thinner than in the photos, her dark hair cut short, with new lines around her eyes. She stands when she sees me. Thank you for meeting me, she says, her voice steady. I know you have no reason to trust me. You're right, I don't. I slide into the booth opposite her. Where have you been for the past 3 years? Working undercover for the FBI. She pushes the envelope toward me. These are my credentials and the custody papers I filed yesterday. I'm here to take my children somewhere safe. I don't touch the envelope. If you're FBI, then you know Agent Rodriguez. Something flickers across her face. Elena Rodriguez isn't who she claims to be. She's been compromised. That's exactly what Marcus said. Why should I believe either of you? Vanessa leans forward. Because I can prove it. Rodriguez has been feeding information to the Kostovas for months. That's how they found the safe house. That's how they knew about the school. If that's true, why didn't you come for your children sooner? Because I couldn't blow my cover until we had enough to take down the entire organization. Her eyes fill with tears. Do you think I wanted to be away from them? I've been watching from a distance, making sure they were safe. When Marcus went off the rails, I had to step in. What did he do exactly? She glances around the diner before lowering her voice. He stole evidence during his testimony prep. Recordings, account numbers, names of informants. He thought he could use it to negotiate his own deal with the Kostovas. The flash drive, I murmur. Vanessa's eyes sharpen. He told you about it? Before I can answer, the bell above the diner door jingles. A man in a tailored suit walks in, scanning the room until his eyes lock on our table. I recognize him instantly from the photos Rodriguez showed me. The man Lily called the accountant. Vanessa tenses beside me. Don't react, she whispers. Act normal. The man approaches our table with a pleasant smile that doesn't reach his eyes. Vanessa, what a surprise, he says smoothly. And you must be Marcus's sister. I've heard so much about you. What do you want? Vanessa asks, her voice cold. The same thing I've always wanted. He slides into the booth next to me, effectively blocking my exit. The flash drive. Marcus promised it to us weeks ago, but he's become unreliable. I don't have it, I say truthfully. But you know where it is. He places his hand on the table, revealing a small tattoo of an hourglass on his wrist. The children are safe for now. Let's keep it that way. The threat hangs in the air between us. Vanessa's hand moves slowly toward her purse. They're not part of this, she says. They're innocent. No one in your family is innocent, my dear. His smile widens. Now, about that flash drive. The diner windows explode inward as gunshots ring out. The accountant ducks, pulling a weapon from inside his jacket. Vanessa shoves me under the table, drawing her own gun. FBI, freeze! Voices shout from outside. The accountant fires toward the windows, then grabs my arm, yanking me up as a shield. Move, and she dies, he shouts. More gunfire erupts. I feel a sharp sting across my arm as a bullet grazes me. The accountant grunts in pain, his grip loosening. I wrench away as Vanessa tackles him to the ground. Get down, she screams at me. I dive behind the counter as federal agents storm the diner. Through the chaos, I can see the accountant being handcuffed, blood spreading across his shoulder. Vanessa is speaking urgently to a tall agent in a tactical vest. When the shooting stops, she finds me huddled behind the counter, clutching my bleeding arm. It's over, she says, helping me to my feet. But we need to move. His people will be looking for him soon. The kids, I gasp. They're alone at the motel. Not anymore, she says, pointing through the shattered window. A black SUV has pulled up outside the motel, and I watch in horror as men in suits escort Lily and Jake toward it. Those are my agents, Vanessa assures me. They'll take them to a secure location. We need to go now. As we rush toward a waiting car, sirens wailing in the distance, I realize we've crossed a line. There's no going back to normal life after this. Whatever Marcus did, whatever is on that flash drive, it's changed everything. The last thing I see before we speed away is the accountant being loaded into an ambulance, his eyes locked on me through the window. His lips move, forming words I can't hear but somehow understand. This isn't over. I wake up to the sound of knocking at the door of our latest safe house, a small cabin Agent Rodriguez arranged for us after the shootout at the diner. My heart immediately accelerates to a gallop. Beside me, Jake and Lily are curled together on the pull-out couch, finally sleeping after hours of questions I couldn't fully answer. The knocking comes again, more insistent this time. I grab the gun. Vanessa left me, something I never imagined would become normal, and approach the door cautiously. Who is it? I call, trying to keep my voice steady. It's me, comes Marcus's voice, and my stomach drops. Let me in. I'm hurt. Through the peephole, I can see him leaning against the doorframe, his face pale and drawn, a dark stain spreading across his shirt. Despite everything, he's still my brother, so I open the door just enough to let him stumble inside before quickly locking it behind him. Jesus, Marcus, I whisper, helping him to a chair. What happened? Got shot during the exchange, he mumbles, wincing as he sits. Managed to get away, but they're not far behind. Who? The Kostovas? The FBI? Both. He looks past me to where the children are sleeping. His eyes soften for a moment before hardening again. Did you get the flash drive? No. We've been a little busy trying not to get killed. I hand him a towel for his bleeding side. What's on it that's worth all this? He hesitates, then sighs. Everything. Account numbers, recordings of meetings, names of informants on both sides. His voice drops. Proof that Rodriguez has been working for the Kostovas us the whole time. Vanessa told me the same thing. Marcus's head snaps up. Vanessa? She's here? She found us yesterday. She says she's been undercover for the FBI, that she's been watching the kids from a distance. He laughs bitterly. Is that what she told you? She abandoned us 3 years ago, walked out one night and never came back. She has FBI credentials. Fake. She works for the Kostovas too. Has been since before we were married. He grimaces in pain. Everyone's playing both sides in this game, including me. Before I can respond, headlights sweep across the cabin windows. A car door slams outside. They found me, Marcus whispers, struggling to his feet. The door opens, and Vanessa walks in, stopping short when she sees Marcus. For a moment, they just stare at each other, years of history hanging between them like a physical thing. You shouldn't be here, she says finally. Neither should you. Marcus's hand moves toward his waistband. Don't, Vanessa warns, her own hand hovering near her holster. The children are right there. At the sound of voices, Lily stirs, rubbing her eyes. When she spots Marcus, she freezes for a split second before launching herself off the couch. Daddy! Marcus catches her with his good arm, his face contorting with pain as she collides with his injured side. Hey, princess, he whispers, holding her tight. Jake wakes more slowly, blinking in confusion at the tableau before him. His eyes move from Marcus to Vanessa and back again. Mom, he says uncertainly, as if testing whether the word still belongs to her. Vanessa's composure cracks. Hi, baby, she says, her voice thick. Jake doesn't run to her like Lily did to Marcus. He stays on the couch, watching carefully. Are you taking us home now? That's the plan, Marcus says before Vanessa can answer. We're going to be a family again. Stop lying to them, Vanessa snaps. You betrayed everyone. The FBI, the Kostovas, me. You stole evidence and tried to sell it to the highest bidder. I did what I had to do to protect my children, Marcus shouts, making Lily flinch against him. He lowers his voice immediately. You have no idea what it's been like. I know exactly what it's been like. I've been watching. Vanessa turns to me. He's been using the children as leverage. That's why the Kostovas haven't killed him yet. They know if anything happens to him, the flash drive goes public. That's not true, Marcus protests. But there's something in his eyes that makes me doubt him. Then why did you abandon them with me? I ask. If they were your insurance policy, why leave them? Because they found out where we were living. I had to draw them away. He strokes Lily's hair. I was always coming back for them. After you made your deal, Vanessa says coldly. After you got your money. Jake slides off the couch and moves to stand beside me, watching his parents with eyes far too old for a 9-year-old. Is that why those men were always coming to the apartment? He asks Marcus. Because you were selling things to them? Marcus looks stricken. Jake, it's complicated. They scared Lily. Jake interrupts, his small voice steady. They said we were insurance. Did you tell them that? The silence that follows is answer enough. Vanessa moves closer to Jake, but doesn't touch him. I'm here now, she says softly. I can take you somewhere safe. You left us, Jake says simply. For 3 years. I was undercover. I couldn't contact you without putting you in danger. But you were watching us? Jake asks. Like the men with the cameras? Vanessa nods. From a distance. To make sure you were okay. We weren't okay, Jake says, and the adult disappointment in his voice breaks my heart. We were scared all the time. Marcus sets Lily down gently and steps toward Jake. Son, everything I did. The cabin door crashes open, and 3 FBI agents burst in, guns drawn. FBI, hands where we can see them. Marcus lunges for Lily, but one of the agents intercepts him, tackling him to the ground. Lily screams as Marcus cries out in pain, his wound reopening. Marcus Coleman, you're under arrest for theft of federal evidence, obstruction of justice, and conspiracy, the lead agent announces as they handcuff him. Vanessa moves to stand between the agents and the children. Agent Reyes, these children have been through enough. Let's do this outside. The lead agent nods, and they haul Marcus to his feet. As they lead him toward the door, he looks back at his children. I love you, he says desperately. Everything I did was for you. Jake doesn't respond, but Lily breaks away from me and runs to him. Don't take my daddy, she sobs as I catch her before she can reach him. It's okay, princess, Marcus says as they push him outside. I'll see you soon. When they're gone, Vanessa kneels in front of the children. I know you're confused and scared, she says gently, but I promise I'm going to make this right. How? Jake asks. I filed for custody. There will be a hearing next week. She glances at me. Your aunt has been taking wonderful care of you. The judge will take that into consideration. 3 weeks later, we're sitting in a courtroom as the judge reviews the final custody arrangement. Marcus, appearing via video from federal detention, watches silently as the judge grants me temporary guardianship of both children, with Vanessa receiving supervised visitation rights that will expand as she completes her reintegration into civilian life. This arrangement will be reviewed in 6 months, the judge announces, at which time, depending on Miss Coleman's progress and the children's adjustment, we may consider modifying the custody agreement. Marcus begins to protest, but his attorney silences him with a hand on his shoulder. The evidence against him is overwhelming. Not just the theft of federal evidence, but his dealings with the Kostova family. The flash drive was eventually recovered from the apartment, exactly where he said it would be, and its contents were enough to ensure he'll be in prison for at least a decade. As we leave the courthouse, Vanessa walks beside me, watching Lily and Jake skip ahead toward the car. Thank you, she says quietly, for taking care of them when neither of us could. They're family, I reply simply. The FBI is setting us up with new identities, she continues. Somewhere far from here. They'll be safe. I nod, having already been briefed on the witness protection arrangements. New names, new city, new schools, a fresh start for all of us. Will you be okay? She asks, leaving your whole life behind? I watch Jake helping Lily climb into the car, his protective instinct so natural despite everything he's been through. I think about the $2,000 that appeared weekly in my account, money that turned out to be from Marcus's deal with the Kostovas, now frozen by the federal government. I think about my apartment, my job, my friends, all the trappings of a life I thought was important. They're my whole life now, I say, and I'm surprised to realize how true it is. These children, who check windows for strange cars and record license plates in notebooks, who've seen more darkness than any child should, they're mine to protect now, and I will, with everything I have. As we drive away from the courthouse toward our temporary home, Lily leans forward from the backseat. Are we safe now? She asks, her voice small. Yes, I tell her, catching her eye in the rearview mirror. We're safe now. I don't know if it's entirely true, but I'll spend the rest of my life making sure it becomes true. That's what family does.